A woman and her 9-month-old daughter move to Beijing. She is looking for work, but is unable to find any. She soon runs out of money and takes residence in a fast food restaurant for 2 months because she has nowhere else to turn. She feels the homeless shelters are terrible, and she still doesn't have a job to afford a place to live. What is she going to do when the owner forces her out?
My name is Matthew Lefebvre, and I was touched by this woman's story. I'm not exposed to homelessness on a daily basis. I live in a rural town. My house is set out here, on 30 acres of forest land, where everything has a home. Out in the rest of the world, however, over 100 million people are homeless. At the age of 11, I listened to my first audiobook on business and was hooked. By the time 15 rolled around, my passion became focused on real estate investment. With the numerous books I read on the subject, one line stuck out. If you want to be successful in business, then you must give back to others. Being the leader of my local Boy Scout troop and an avid follower of the principles of Scouting, I took this message to heart and have always tried to devote myself in service to others. But how can I give back to people like this woman? With unlimited startup funds, I would create large apartment buildings constructed with local materials near factory areas that not only provide housing for people of lower incomes, but also provide free housing for those who do not have a home. My idea can be separated into 3 main parts, which I have dubbed the profit, the appeal, and the aim. The profit is how money flows in. Rent collection from paying tenants is the source of the profit. Government subsidies, where applicable, will help drive costs down. The appeal is the reason why people will choose my apartments over others. They will be located near factories, which will reduce commute time and cut down on traffic. I will also be partnering with these factories in which they suggest their workers live in my apartments, and I suggest my tenants work in their factories. This is better than factory-controlled housing because one company will not be able to control both the availability of a job and an apartment. Finally, the aid. My company will be selecting people in the city who are homeless, and then, for a period of 6 months, providing them with a free apartment. This gives them the opportunity to find a job without having to worry about where they will be sleeping that night.
This project won't work everywhere. It must meet a few requirements. The city must have a high and rapidly expanding population and an aggressive GDP. The logic behind these requirements is that a city that is quickly growing in population and GDP is likely to have a very high demand for new housing developments, providing a steady stream of tenants and many job opportunities. So what city meets these requirements? Although I have compiled a relatively long list of potential cities, I have selected Guangzhou, China as my pilot site. Guangzhou is part of the Pearl River Delta, which is one of the most industrialized areas in the world. It is currently one of the fastest growing cities in the world, having gone from 6 million people in 1990 to 12 million people in 2010. Once this pilot is established, I would expand to other cities such as Mumbai, Karachi, and Shenzhen, to name a few.
Our rural town is so small that it doesn't even have a shelter, so I don't see homelessness very often. When I visited China this past April with my Mandarin language class, however, I witnessed a shocking amount of poverty and homelessness. This isn't just a problem in China, it is a global issue. So can we fix this? I'm Matthew Lefebvre, I'm a global citizen, and I believe that everyone should have a home.